Today, we're diving into a really profound spiritual guide called The Way of Love. It's all about this idea of selfless love, but not through huge, heroic gestures. Instead, it's found in the small, everyday, and often overlooked actions that we all face. So let's get into it.
The author starts us off with this absolutely beautiful line. It really sets the stage, doesn't it? It's like she's leaning in and saying, look, the ideas I'm about to share are so deep, so true, that if you could fully grasp them, it would sound like heavenly music. It's a real invitation to listen with our whole heart, not just our ears. So to really understand this way of love, the author gives us this incredible central metaphor, the artist and the brush. It's such a simple idea, but it's absolutely key to completely reframing how we see ourselves and our abilities.
And here is the heart of that analogy. The author sees herself not as the genius artist with the grand vision, no. She sees herself as the instrument, just a simple brush in the hands of a divine artist. You know, a painter isn't jealous of their own brush, right? In the same way, the brush can't take any credit for the final masterpiece. It's a really radical way to see things.
This metaphor leads to the big lesson here. We have to detach our ego from our successes and our failures. And humility in this sense isn't about beating yourself up or thinking you're worthless. It's the realization that our talents, our gifts, are all part of a much bigger design, a masterpiece we get to help create, but one we didn't come up with on our own.
So, this perspective, it's not about feeling small. It's about finding this joyful sense of freedom. It's the kind of liberation that comes when you finally understand your role is to be a valued instrument whose whole purpose is just to contribute to something beautiful.
Okay, so if we're the brush, what does that mean for the paint? You know, our thoughts, our ideas. This brings us to the first really practical application of all this, which she calls the charity of the mind.
I mean, think about it for a second. We live in a world where our ideas are like a currency, our intellectual property. That's who we are. So what happens when someone else swoops in and takes credit for your brilliant thought? It stings. It really does. And the author, she felt this exact same thing.
She describes this feeling so perfectly. When someone repeated an insight she'd shared, her first gut reaction was to feel robbed, as if a personal treasure had just been stolen from her. It's such a familiar feeling, right? That sense of injustice? But then comes the big shift. If she's just the brush, she realizes, then the paint, that inspiration, it isn't hers to own in the first place. Her thoughts aren't her personal property, they're gifts just passing through her. She actually concludes that she should be glad when others treat them as their own. And this is where you see that real charity has to extend even to our own mind. Okay, so from that internal struggle, we now move to the external practice. What does this way of love actually look like in the real world? Well, the answer isn't in some grand gesture. It's found in the small, often really difficult moments of service.
Here's a powerful example. The author is helping this frail, elderly sister who gets agitated and accuses her of being careless. Now, the normal human response would be to get defensive, right? But instead, she makes a very conscious choice. She slows down, she acts with even more gentleness, and she offers what she calls her very best smile. It's that tiny, internal pivot that turns a frustrating chore into an act of profound love.
And these opportunities are literally everywhere. She tells another story about being splashed with dirty water while doing laundry. Her first instinct? Annoyance. But she quickly reframes it. Instead of reacting, she sees it as a chance to practice patience. And she writes that by the end of it, she had acquired a sweet piece of soul. These little irritations suddenly become hidden treasures.
So, what is the whole point of all this? If you're going to give away your ideas, embrace inconvenience, serve people without any thanks, what's the reward? Well, it is not what you might think. It's a deep, kind of paradoxical joy.
This table really shows the fundamental contrast. The world's way is all about building the self up. Go get that praise, pursue comfort, protect what's yours. But the way of love, it's the complete opposite. It's accepting being overlooked, embracing difficulty, and just giving everything away freely. It's a radical flip of our modern values.
And the author herself is just astonished by this. She fully admits that this path is naturally repugnant. I mean, our instincts fight against it every single step of the way. And yet the result is a joy so profound, she says she couldn't have even believed it was possible unless she had lived it herself. It's a joy that comes from completely forgetting about yourself.
So just how valuable is this joy? Well, thinking back to that difficult moment helping Sister St. Peter, the author makes a staggering claim. She says she would not exchange the 10 minutes she spent on that single act of charity for 1,000 years of such worldly delights. 1,000 years!
That's the value she puts on one small, hidden act of love.
So as we close this out, the question really isn't about some grand heroic act. It's about the here and now. What's the equivalent of being splashed with laundry water or helping someone difficult in your life today? What is that tiny, seemingly insignificant opportunity for love that is sitting right in front of you? Because according to this way of love, that small moment, it might just be the most important work you do all day.